Hi, it's Chef Rick, and today I'm making fried chicken.
First thing we're going to do is make a buttermilk marinade. So when you see buttermilk fried chicken, it's buttermilk, which when chicken's left to marinate in, it will soften the meat and obviously impart flavour. This one's a seasoned buttermilk marinade. So to that I've just added some paprika, chili powder, cayenne pepper and some garlic powder. Any herbs and spices can be added at this point. It's entirely up to you, and don't worry about the fact that those like chili powder, cayenne are spicy. This bit really is just, it'll just have a subtleness of flavour in there. This alone will not make your chicken hot or spicy. So there's your buttermilk marinade, to which we're going to add some chicken drumsticks, skin on, bone in. Although any type of chicken is absolutely fine to add to this. One of my favourites, which I'll do later on in this video, is a skinless, boneless chicken thigh. Because it's got so many like nooks and crannies in it. It gets a really good marinade in, goes super lovely and crispy, but that's towards the end of this video. For now, let's just leave that marinade in. I've got some tin foil because I ran out of cling film. Normally you'd want to put some cling film on there and get that in the fridge. Minimum an hour, ideally overnight. Now we're going to make some coleslaw. Now, this coleslaw is KFC coleslaw. It's a clone recipe. It's not my recipe, but I assure you it tastes exactly the same as KFC coleslaw, and it's really, really, really nice. All the quantities will be down in the description below. I make way too much here. You don't need to make this much, unless you love the coleslaw, of course, because I like having it in the fridge and then you can just go back to it and grab it any time. But it's one head of cabbage, which we need to chop into the size of rice. And I start going at it here with a knife, and then I'm looking at it. I'm like, no, this is going to take me forever trying to go in this with a knife. So we go to my trusty neighbour over the road, who lends us her food processor. And look how quick this is, just amazing. I am definitely going to buy one of these now, because what would have taken me God knows how long to chop, I turned that cabbage into rice size pieces in about 20 seconds. So there we go. The next component of this is carrot, kind of one medium carrot which I've peeled, top and tailed. Just give it a rough chop into 3 and straight into a clean food processor again. Just another little 10-second blast. And that gets the carrot to the pieces that are the size of rice. Gosh, look at that, perfect. And half an onion, which was going to chop off the top and peel. And in all my other videos, you see where we don't take off the root. Now in this one, we're going to remove the root, get rid of that bit as quick as you can, get it in a bin, because that's like a little miniature tear gas. Put the onion into the food processor as we did with the cabbage and the carrot, and there you go. It's going to get that perfect and lovely and small. So that's the cabbage, the carrot, the onion. Just give that a good mix round. And then if you know KFC coleslaw, you'll see now it's kind of already starting to look just like it. And for the coleslaw now, we're just going to add some mayonnaise. All quantities will be down in the description below. Buttermilk, some whole milk, some white vinegar, fresh lemon juice, and granulated sugar. I'm sure some of the older crowd will be looking at that amount of granulated sugar going into a coleslaw and thinking, what is he doing here? But this is KFC's coleslaw. Like I say, this is it's amazing, but this is not the traditional coleslaw that you're used to. So you give that a real good mix round. Get that over the chopped veg. Really good mix round. Oh, whilst I'm doing that, if you like my videos, please hit like at the bottom, give it a thumbs up. It's really good for me. And also, if you're not subscribed to me, if you click subscribe at the bottom, it's free for you, but it's really good for me. So I just really appreciate anyone who chooses to do that. You don't have to, and if not, just enjoy the video. So you see now, look how much I made. That's ridiculous. That's a ginormous plastic tub full of KFC coleslaw. So yeah, if like me you think that's absolutely amazing in the dream, make that much, get it in the fridge. It costs next to nothing, and you can have KFC coleslaw with every meal. Now we're going to make KFC's gravy. Again, this is not my gravy recipe, this is a KFC clone. And the trick to this is using 2 stock cubes, 1 chicken and 1 beef. So break a chicken and a beef stock cube into a jug and add just under 500 ml of boiling water from the kettle, of course. Give that a good stir around. Make sure everything's combined. And now to the melt butter, we're going to add plain flour. Because it's just like we're making a roux. Instead of adding the flour gradually, because we know the quantities, we can just add the whole amount at the beginning alongside the butter. Give that a good mix round so it gets really lovely and smooth like that. In goes some onion powder and black pepper. So it's lovely and smooth, it gets rid of all the lumps, and to that we're going to add the chicken and beef stock broth, if you will, that we made from the 2 cubes. And just gradually start combining it. Once you start whisking it, you'll see it goes incredibly thick, because you're going to need to add that whole kind of just under 500 ml. So as you add into it, you see it's the thickest ever liquid, and then it'll just absorb, just absorb. As with anything, we can always add more. You can't take it out, so don't worry when it gets way too thick like that. You'd be much happier to have it thick and then thin it with the stock than you would to have it too thin and have to try and re-thicken it again. It would be, it wouldn't really work. You can see we're getting there now. It's so smooth. And I promise you, just like the coleslaw, if you ever had KFC gravy, then this is exactly KFC gravy. You know, I've never had anything that tastes. I've tried different clones of it, and this is the one that is like identical. So there you go. That's your KFC gravy. Again, pour it on absolutely everything. I'm sure you will if you like KFC gravy. That's how you make it at home for next to nothing. Okay, now it's time for the seasoned flour for the chicken. So, in the plain flour, I'm going to add some paprika, cayenne pepper, garlic powder, a little bit of thyme. Any of the Italian herbs, just want a tiny little bit in there. So thyme, oregano, just a little bit. Mustard powder, some onion powder, black pepper, white pepper, and that's a seasoned flour. Now this isn't an exact KFC clone. You can go on and see KFC's perfect flour blend. This is just kind of what I had in the cupboard. And you can see that it just adds a lovely colour. You know all of those flavours go together. There's just a little bit of heat in the background, but it's not going to be overbearing. This is our marinated chicken. So the first ones I'll show you is just a couple of drums. We've got the oil heating. In fact, I'll probably show you that in a second. Let's get the drumsticks in the seasoned flour first. So we just want to toss them in the seasoned flour, make sure they're all lovely and coated. Leave them in there for a minute. Let the flour get into all, like I mentioned earlier, just those little nooks and crannies. Make sure it's all on there. And then look at that, banging the drumsticks together. I saw that on a KFC advert years ago, and I thought, oh, I suppose you're supposed to do that. This is oil. This is a rapeseed oil that's going at 170. In a fryer like this, you can control the temperature. You can see it's exactly at 170. You want to fry these for around about 15 to 20 minutes. The colour will tell you that's probably had about 10 minutes when I pulled them out, and you can see, look at those. That's them after about 18 minutes. Let them cool. These take a while to cool. They are really, really hot. In there now, these are the skinless, boneless thighs. That's exactly how I like them, because you get so much of that seasoned flour and all the flavour going into all the little nooks and crannies. There's no bone in there, although I don't mind meat on the bone. In fact, I love it, but you can just bite away. Chips, I just did some super simple, chips from the supermarket. There's your lovely chicken. There's your big pot of gravy. Of course, you've got a ginormous pan of that elsewhere. There's some coleslaw on the side. Absolutely amazing. Like I say, the coleslaw, the gravy is a KFC clone. That is a beautiful fried crispy chicken. It's amazing. It's got a tiny bit of spice in the background, but it's not overly hot. Dip that in the gravy. That's it. You know what you want. It's making me hungry watching it. Thank you so much for watching the video. I really do appreciate every single viewer, and I'll see you on the next one.